welcome. I'm Dr. Shiwei Wang, Chair and Professor of Computer Science at NEIU. I also serve as the Chair of the Faculty Senate and Faculty Assembly of the university. It's wonderful to see all of you here today for our annual NETT Day event. This is a signature event of the College of Business and Technology and the Department of Computer Science. Now, let me ask you the question. Do you all know what NETT actually stands for? It's NEIU Empowerment Through Technology. Okay, so I just want to make sure everybody knows what that one is. So 16 years ago, okay, Department of Computer Science and the College of Business came together to create this NETT Day. That's in 2010. This one-day event reflects our long tradition of bringing together people from industry and academia to share insights on how technology can empower and support people. It also lays the foundation of today's College of Business and Technology. Now, with the rapid rise of artificial intelligence, I know we're talking about AI. Everybody's talking about AI today, right? And we know that AI is already part of our life. But I want to say it doesn't really matter if you used AI or not. We know AI is already making significant impact on everybody's life. So that's why this year our sessions focus on technology and AI and their transformative power in business.
Okay, hello everyone, how are you doing today? I know we are in the middle of the day and also it's afternoon. I just want to check you are still awake first. Okay, so next session, it's our honor to invite Dr. Yun Dong from Illinois Institute of Technology to give us a talk about the HCI with AI. And actually, Dr. Dong holds an HCI Ph.D. degree, and her research mainly focuses on user-centered design, human-computer interaction, and the application of AI in game design and education. Yeah, let's welcome Dr. Yun to give us a talk. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Wang, for the introduction. So my name is Yun Dong, and I am from Illinois Tech. And as Dr. Wang introduced that my background is HCI, and also he didn't introduce too much is about, I also have the background of design. So that's the reason why today I would like to talk about the opportunities and also the challenges that AI tools that can bring to design. Well, first of all, I would like to just briefly introduce a little bit that, because I'm from IIT, Illinois Tech, and our department and also our College of Computing, we have some graduate programs that if you're interested in, for example, like the practical skills or the knowledge or the management skills in like the programming, but not just programming, but also like web design and also game design and also education and how you can manage all these stuff. So you probably want to check our website for the graduate programs there. So just want to kind of give a small advertisement before my talk. All right, so first of all, I would like to ask you a question. So how many of you have used generative AI tools to help you illustrate some interesting images?
We screwed something up.
Okay, we've got a lot. So let me just randomly ask someone and maybe discovery. So yeah, what kind of the like the illustration or the images that you were using Gen AI tools to help you?
So I've used it before to try to make a headshot for myself.
Oh, that's great.
A professional headshot, but they always look kind of funny, so that never works out. And then sometimes when I don't want to fall into copyright issues, I might give it an image and say, make me a similar one. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you. Yeah, the reason why I ask because, well, after you've mentioned a little bit of that, so the copyright issue there. So sometimes the Gen AI tools will, you can just write some prompts and it will just help you to generate no matter it's just profile photo or any comic style or anything. So then, where did they get the data that, have you ever thought about it? Or what kind of the styles that you like? So you probably want to generate some images with a similar, the styles that you already familiarized. Then have you ever think about where the original style from? So this is what we can discuss today. So why it is closed?
We're
Okay.
just keep going. There's technical difficulties.
Okay. So, well, I wanted to talk about the opportunities and challenges, right, and bring by the human-centered AI and also Gen AI tools here. So the reason why this topic can matter, why it matter, because in only the last 2 years, we are now at 2025, right? But in these 2 years, AI has evolved from a very technical tool into a true creative partner. And a lot of us, we have used AI just writing some simple text, and it can just give us very fancy images there. So designers now also using these tools, like they can use the tools to co-create with systems. Like there are a lot of tools, like Midjourney.
I kind of got freaked out.
Yeah, like Midjourney or Figma AI, and I'm not sure whether you have heard about the Stable Diffusion, and also from OpenAI is called Dolly. I think they are currently at version 3, if I remember correctly. So now designers co-create with systems like these tools, as I've mentioned. They can generate just dozens of the variation in seconds, just in a very short time. So this change what design means. It's no longer just drawing or composing, but it's actually curating or guiding what AI can produce. But this transformation raises deeper questions. So if AI can generate ideas, what remains the role of the designer or the artist in this case? And who owns the creativity, as I asked you earlier? And who owns the originality? And how do we ensure the empathy and the ethics stay in the process there? So these are not just about design, not just design questions. They are human questions as well. So we need to explore them. We'll need to look at design itself through a new lens. And today I would like to bring design thinking as a framework for understanding how AI reshapes creativity and also the responsibilities.
Stay away.
Okay, I think now we're at the same slide. So yeah, today I would like to talk about the human-centered AI. So when I say this word, human-centered AI, it doesn't mean like just making AI faster or just more powerful. Here I actually mean how we can make it more meaningful for people, for the human users behind it. So it's about shifting the focus from the algorithm itself to the human experience where it can enable. So how do people feel when they use AI? This can be the question that you can targeting on. And how do they trust it? How do they understand it? How they express themselves through just writing some simple prompts? Human-centered AI asks us to balance the efficiency with values and also the empathy, creativity, and also fairness. And because of a design that works perfectly for a system, still can feel for a person, these are the questions that we need to just keep those in mind. So rather than just saying what AI can do, like what ChatGPT can do, what DeepSeek can do, so we start asking another question. What should AI do to serve human needs and values there? So always real users, always real
Screen's working.
behind.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is where design thinking becomes the powerful framework that we can think about. So it keeps humans at the center while exploring what AI makes possible. Sorry. Okay, so this is a very typical framework of design thinking, and I would like to just simply ask, how many of you have heard about design thinking process? Okay, we got at least some audience here. So this is a very typical diagram, as I've mentioned. To unpack AI's influence on design, I'd like to just use this as the framework so we can kind of guide the overall talk here. So design thinking process, as you see in the image here, it includes 5 different stages. The first stage is empathize. So this is about how you can build empathy, how you can just try to understand your users instead of just putting all your assumptions to them before you make some decisions. And second is about define. So with a lot of the current situation, the issues, what is the key questions, the key problems that you want to solve for the users? This stage is called define. And then ideate. With the defined questions or problems or the target users, you are now just trying to generate unlimited options or the solutions for them. It can be like, for example, if you're familiar with web design or application design, you probably want to just use your pencil to sketch a lot of the layouts for like a certain website or just the overall look for the UI design. And then prototype. Prototype, really, we can have low fidelity or high fidelity prototype. For the low fidelity prototype, you probably can just use Figma to create a lot of different simple layouts with no color details, just the blocks, just the placeholders, and you quickly link the different pages or UI, just connect them together and make your users or participants can click and go through the user tasks. But for the high fidelity prototype, you probably want to embed your coding and probably make every details more functional, and you can just involve real users, go through the user task and try whether these are the good things, the good functions, everything looks okay for the users. So really, prototyping and testing, these are the two stages that stick together at the end of the design thinking framework here. So with the 5 stages, they present a human-centered approach to solve problems. The first part I would like to just introduce how we can use those 5 stages to also bring the Gen AI tools to give some opportunity to the design area. So the first stage, as I've mentioned, this is emphasize. So this is about understanding your users beyond what they say or do. AI can now support this process in just very powerful way. So they can analyze thousands of the users' comments and the user data. They can detect the user emotions and also reveal some hidden patterns in behavior. So these insights help designers scale empathy to the users to see the larger trend that the traditional, for example, qualitative research, the 1 or 2 interviews cannot reflect and can never show. So, but empathy isn't just about recognizing the patterns from your users. It's about feeling what does it mean, feeling the meaning for the users. So AI can detect the frustrations, but it cannot interpret why the frustration happened, why the emotion matters in this context. This is still the role and also the responsibility that the designer should take. So while AI expand our research, no matter it's in industrial or in research, in the design field, the human role is still essential here in the stage. Because the human roles as the designers, they need to interpret or to connect and to care. All right, so second stage, define. Define means you need to now frame the right problem. As I've mentioned, you need to define who is the target users and what is the target problems as the key you need to solve. So AI can assist here by just organizing complex data and also find correlations and also highlighting where users struggle most. For example, one AI system can just cluster pain points from thousands of survey responses or predict which issue have the biggest impact on user satisfaction. But identifying the pattern isn't the same as understanding what does it mean, as I mentioned earlier. So AI can tell us what problems exist, but humans can decide which problems matter and also why. So this is where human judgment, ethics, and also context can come into the general scenario here. Designers must interpret data through cultural, emotional, and also ethical lens to define challenges that truly serve people, not just optimize metrics. So in short words, AI helps us find problems, and human actually still must frame what are the most important problems. This is for the define stage. I'm not sure why the microphone sometimes lost a little bit voice, but hopefully everyone can still hear me clearly. Okay. So the third stage, ideation, as I've mentioned earlier, so now it's time for you to just unlimited to use your smart brain to just generate a lot of the solutions, no matter they're reasonable or not reasonable. So this stage, you can have a lot of the freedom to create. And this is where AI truly shines as a creative tool for you. So, for example, this is the, so here I think on the big screen, I don't think that's the correct one. Okay, I'm sorry for switching the slides a lot of times, so this should be the correct one. So in this example, you can see there's a pencil sketched kind of like a draft for a product. And if I just upload that to any of the Gen AI tool and I ask the AI to help me to generate a lot of different models there. So you can see here multiple results just come out. So it truly shines as the creative tool for design field, as I've mentioned. And like Midjourney and Dolly, ChatGPT can also do that. So there are a lot of tools that designer can turn a short text into the dozens of the visual directions in seconds. And similarly, also, if you're interested in UI design, Figma AI and Unizard can translate a very rough, like a pencil sketching into an interface layout instantly. So that actually, for the designers, it saves a lot of the times there. So those tools are very fast, of course. So they also expand our imagination as well, because now you have more energy and more time to expand what you have in your mind. So they can tell us to explore different possibilities where we might never have drawn by hand, or maybe we didn't just thought about it before. So combining the visual styles, and we can combine the visual cultures and also combining some of different materials in some unexpected ways. This is where AI can help us in the design field here. And one more thing I want to mention is, actually, so AI is not just help you to create things. Actually, it just help you to multiply what you already have, and that can be a more useful way. All right, so the fourth stage here in design thinking is prototype. This is about making ideas tangible so we can explore and test them. And as I've mentioned, prototyping and testing, these are the two stages really stick together. And AI is transforming the stage faster than it used to be, than the traditional way. So with tools like, I think I've mentioned Figma AI and Unizard, these are two very good examples. So with these tools, designers can move from the concept to prototype in just a few minutes. It's just save a lot of the energy and time. You can describe a layout in natural language, and AI just instantly builds a wireframe or even a very visually detailed layout UI design for you. And also, it can just bring you the functional HTML or CSS code as well, just not about the visual, but also about the technical function. So this acceleration is very powerful. It can lower the barrier to experimentation. So more people can prototype ideas, and we can test more variation in the less time. So now I would like to talk about the test together. So this is the final stage of design thinking. And before that, I would like to ask you, earlier I've mentioned prototyping, how the AI tools can help us, and what can be the risk in your mind. I have that in my last slides, but I have that on my slides, but I didn't really want to step into more details before I got some answers from you. So question for you. If I just use prototype and I would like to conduct tests based on those prototypes that quickly generated by AI tools, what kind of the risks that you can see? Any thoughts, any comments? All right, so I can give one example there. So because AI tools, they capture the data from existing website there, right? And actually it's similar to what you've mentioned earlier about the copyright thing. So if I just gave AI like a pencil sketched layout and you just employ a lot of the visual colors and images and the style buttons without just having like a deeper research there, then copyright issue can be one thing. I can just use simple words to let AI help me to generate generate a very similar look shopping website with Amazon or Temu, things like that. So this can be one of the risks that designers need to manage there. How you can still keep your product as competitive as you can, and also how you can keep the originality, how you can avoid some law issue there. This can be one of the risks. And the other risk, actually, we can talk a little bit more about that in part 2. All right, so back to testing. Traditionally, testing means usability testing in HCI or design field. So we need to take the actions like observations and real user feedback and send thousands of the questionnaire survey. And also we need to invite and recruit real participants to come here, test our product, and see where are the challenges and obstacles that they are facing when they try to finish the task that we would like to assign to them. But nowadays, predictive tools that are driven by AI can simulate eye tracking, and also they estimate attention flow or flag potential usability issues before any user even touch the product. This can be good, but this can also be risked a little bit, because we can try to ask ourselves that, okay, I know the AI tools, they took the data from a lot of the previous researchers or the database, but users are always change. And also generation to generation, like for example, I was born during the 1990s, and the people who like about 10 years younger than me totally have different flavors or have different tastes about the game design. So if I still use AI tools, can the AI tools help me to reflect the different tastes from the different people in that detail? Well, shortly, the answer is yes. But whether this trend and whether these changes can be detailedly evaluated, keep going, or keep continuously changing and updated, this is still a controversial topic nowadays there. So, does AI truly understand user experience from the AI-driven or machine perspective? This can be the question that we can keep in mind when we are using these tools to help us.
Yeah, so for
All right, now I would like to move to part 2. This is about the challenges and also the ethics issue or the discussion that we can have when using the AI in the design area. So, as AI becomes deeply embedded in design, the fundamental question we can ask ourselves is, who is the creator? So, if I ask, for example, just ChatGPT, if I ask ChatGPT to help me to just illustrate a profile photo, but in the style of Van Gogh or Mondrian style, or if just an abstract layout, abstract image from the Mondrian style, and it can just give me a lot of the outcomes in just a few seconds there. But maybe I have the question in my mind that, is it just my originality? Is this my thought? Is this my good idea? Or this is the idea from the artist that already exists in the history? So when an AI system generates an image, and also can be a logo, can be the website layout, can be the game design, game aesthetical resources, a lot of different areas there. So based on millions of examples from human designers, and also these are really the designers in the history with the open resources there. So whose creativity it is? Is it mine, or the artist, or the people who write the prompts? So the designer, then do we still need to have the designer? Is it okay if we just have the data sets, or maybe just have the model that we are using? So we've already seen AI-generated art winning design competitions, and this is honestly, personally, and this is not a very pleasant trend because AI already can use their outcomes to win the human design competition, and even beating the human interest in the same competition. But the controversy isn't really about the prize, it's about the authorship. Creativity has always been about intent and also the interpretation. So human create with purpose, like AI can create with the probability. That difference sounds small. It looks like it doesn't mean anything, but it defines what we value as the originality for the artwork or the design work. So a human designer can explain why a form feels right, why an image looks good. and what emotion it meant to evoke, what story the illustration is telling. But AI can generate variation for it, but it doesn't have the intention, or it can give you the context or understand the context or the accountability. So the question isn't about who made it. It's more about what does it mean when the authorship becomes shared between the human and the machines. So in human-centered view in the design or HCI area, the answer here is authorship must stay human, and even when creativity becomes computational. So next I would like to talk about the bias and representations. So every AI system learns from data, and that means it also learns from bias. So the images, words, and the interactions used to train those models reflect the cultural and the power structures of the societies they come from. So if those data contain stereotypes and omissions or historical inequities, then AI will reproduce them overly and repeatedly again and again. And often these bias can be invisible. So here you can see two examples on the screen, two images there. So when I asked I think I used those, is a new AI tool called CC. In Chinese name is called Doubao. So when I asked the AI tool, I wrote some prompts telling the AI tool like, helping me to illustrate a woman, a career woman. So this really the very often because I tried this round and round, and this will be the very oftenly, how to say, so this is a nurse, right? Everyone can see. So this is kind of like a commonly generated outcome from my description. I want a woman, and I want a career woman, and please give me some result. And also, really, the woman looks like very thin and with a very just a gentle facial expression. This is kind of like a stereotype for what careers that can be taken by the women. And sometimes it can be teachers or female professors as well. But when I asked the AI to help me to illustrate a profile photo for a CEO, that sounds like a social elite, right, in our society. And really, this will be the outcome. I have generated some similar outcomes, and overly, this will be one of them. And some elements were repeatedly just come to my laptop there. Yeah. So really, even an interesting thing is, even I didn't really describe, give me a male CEO, or I didn't really describe, give me a CEO with muscles. But this will be the outcome that I can have. Because usually in the stereotype, CEO, social elite, and also people who are powerful, these are the characters that AI have learned, and most of them are male, and also especially white male in our society. So those are two examples I would like to share today, how AI can reproduce this stereotype and also bring the human bias to the creation. All right, so next, I would like to talk about the erosion of human responsibilities. So one of the more subtle danger of AI in design is what we might call as the erosion of human responsibility here. So when AI starts suggesting ideas, or in our HCI era, it can suggest us some layouts or even decision makings, it tends to simply accept its output. Like, especially when it looks convincing or data-driven for us. And we may say, okay, maybe because it's data-driven, so it can be better than my own idea. And psychologists call this phenomenon as the automation bias. Our tendency to overtrust machine recommendations, and even sometimes they are flawed or not the correct answer for some situation. So in creative work, this bias can just quietly shift our mindset from designing to approving. So you're actually seeing some answers. You think they are data-driven, they are pretty logical, but actually you don't know where the data came from and how AI can form your decision making, even though you thought you just picked some ideas from the options that it can bring to you. But actually this remains like still the entire human task, that it is your responsibility to pick the things from multiple resources, but AI cannot carry the same responsibilities as you. All right, and next I would like to move to our part 3, and we are the first 2 parts, and also the design thinking framework, how it can bring us the deeper thinking. So in early years, AI followed commands, like executed logic and never just acted on its own. But today, actually AI has begun to show a form of agency. It doesn't just assist. It can decide, it can help you to generate, and sometimes even it can even reject your options. It can even reject the request that you gave to them. So, well, when we prompt a generative model, we don't fully control how it interprets our words or why it chooses certain outcomes there. So this shift changes the ethics of design responsibilities. If an AI system co-authors an artwork or design work, like a logo or just a flyer, and for example, Canva today, not Canvas, Canva, the other platform that they used to exclude the AI tools, but nowadays you can still use AI tools on Canva to help you generate a lot of the flyers as your advertisement, like for a new course or for a new event. But so the deeper issue isn't about copyright in this case. It's about accountability. So if an AI-driven design reinforces the stereotypes or excludes certain groups of the users, who is responsible to bring them back to the stage? The designers who select the model, the designer is the ones to be responsible for that, or is it the engineer who trained the model, or is it the company that deployed this model, or the data sets that shaped the worldview for the AI tool? So it's really complicated that to define who should to take the responsibilities, and I personally think it's not just about the one party. It can be the multiple stakeholders in the project and multiple stakeholders who train and use the AI tools there. So human-centered AI reminds us that moral responsibility cannot be outsourced. It's still the human action that we need to take during the design process there. All right, and next I would like to talk, this is the paradox of creativity here. So one of the biggest paradox of AI in design is this makes creativity too easy for everyone. So as I've mentioned earlier, so people can just write a few very simple prompts and they can generate just thousands of the work in a few minutes there. So for centuries, creative work has required time. This is the time to explore different things and possibilities. This can be the time to doubt whether this is a good solution, whether this is equity or equal to all the users, and whether this can reflect the human insight, the human spirit. So that slowness was part of the process, and it's really meaningful. So it allowed the space for the designers for create meaning, and also how the meaning can emerge to the product and behind it, instead of just some good visual look or just from some good products with good functions there. But now AI gives everyone the instant results, and 100 of the variation appear before we even just finish thinking. So here you can see the danger is it's not just about the AI kills the creativity. It actually removes the friction and the opportunity to make you to explore, make you to have a break, to think, to take the time. It actually erases the time that bring the between the thinking and also the final outcome there. So, well, a lot of limitations, to be honest, still erased by AI tools, but also AI can erase the pause time that leads to the creative insight. So the new challenge here for designers is not just how fast we can generate ideas, but how intentionally we can interpret and refine them. So the true creativity may soon depend less on how much we produce and more on how deeply that we can still maintain and we can still reflect in our design and ideas. So AI is not just changing what we create, and it's actually changing how we think about the creativity itself. So here I have a question to you. I would like to tell you 3 different roles that designers have been changed through the history. So first, designers, they used to be makers, because designers, they have the responsibilities to, for example, shaping different colors and utilize different forms, and also think about what materials and texture with their own hands. And then they became curators. When we say curators, it means the selecting and refining what machines generate. Like, for example, before the AI tools there, I can just sketch a very beautiful layout, and I still need to use Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or today Figma help me to make this layout. And then now increasingly they become meta designers. This means the designers can be anyone, and also people who design the system that can help human design. So I would like to ask your opinions about, since we can learn from the history that designers' roles have been changed into 3 different stages, and what do you think can be still, for example, what are the features that designers still can keep from the first stage as the maker to the nowadays role, the meta design? What are the features, or maybe in simple words, what are the roles that, or what are the responsibilities in creativity that designers still maintain? Dr. Wang, please.
Yeah, I think the designer can still keep the ability to decide whether to how big change you want to make with the AI generated product or the results.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Yeah, so actually this question, we don't really have the correct or the wrong answers for it, just depending on how you see and how, if your role is as a designer or developer, how you would like to take the tool to help you to just accomplish some of the tasks. But always this focus is on the human users behind it. So this shift across the 3 stages of the designer's role, this shift is not just technical, but it's also cognitive. So the creative act is moving from direct making to just using some simple prompts, and also configuring, and also the designer's roles includes interpreting, and this is still the core of being a designer. So when everyone's creative inspiration comes from the same algorithm, like behind the same, for example, the same generative AI tool, then cultural diversity starts to fade. So we also need to make sure that the local traditions, the materials, and also some narratives behind different culture, they are still not being ignored, and they can still have the opportunities to flatten into the globalized style. So human role becomes not just to design with AI, but to design against its uniformity to protect cultural diversity there. All right, so everything we've discussed so far, like the creativity, authorship, bias, responsibilities, this extends just beyond design itself. These questions also just reshape how we can teach, how we can learn, and how to define what is called expertise in the age of design. And especially in engineering and computing education, because this was my main research direction when I was the Ph.D. student. So in the engineering or STEM or computing education, for example, students now have the access to tools that can instantly generate code for them. And even though a lot of professors may say, well, in our course, we don't really allow students to use AI tools to help you to write codes, but you cannot truly forbid it. So students can just use it to generate codes, diagrams, and even just the full design solutions in my class. So this challenge is no longer how to produce results, because you already have a lot of tools and ways to do it. But we can change the question to how to question them, how to just make your judgment into the outcomes where AI can bring to the table there. So when AI provides an answer, the human role shifts from problem solver to critical evaluator. You need to have your critical view to evaluate which still can be the best result that according to the context, according to your target users, and also the key problems that you have in your defining stage in design thinking. All right, so as we reach to the end of the talk, hopefully it's not super boring for everyone. So let's step back a little bit and look at the big picture. AI has already changed how we can create and how we design and how we think. It expands our capabilities, but also expands our responsibilities as well. So as designers, your responsibilities change and some of the features still maintained. The real question is not whether AI will shape the future of design. It already has actually, because a lot of the AI tools already formally applied by the industrial companies there. The question nowadays is more likely to be how we ourselves as humans choose to shape AI in return. Human-centered AI asks us to design not just for efficiency, but for agency, for diversity, and also meaning. The meaning is the most important thing. What does your design mean for different people? Design thinking, well, today, this framework I introduced, this can give us the mindset to balance the empathy, ethics, and also the reflection at the heart of the innovation, even though today we are using multiple Gen AI tools. So as we move forward into the era of the intelligent systems, we have a lot of tools, as I've mentioned. The goal isn't to just make AI more human-like, but it's to make the human creativity more conscious and more ethical and more human-centered. Again, so the core is always human, the real people that behind your fancy idea. All right, this is the end of the talk today I can bring to you. Thank you very much for your time. And just for acknowledgement, well, some references, so if you're interested, you can just search articles and read. And one thing I want to mention is all the images I put, all the illustrations I put in my PowerPoint slides today were generated by AI tools. So some of them are the tool I called CC earlier, and I used Midjourney and also Dolly a little bit to form those illustrations. All right, again, thank you very much for your time for the talk, and I'm open and welcome any questions if you have. All right, any questions, or if you're interested in HCI or web design, game design, education, anything you think that you have some feedback or comments that are relevant to the AI topic, yeah, please share your thoughts with us.
First of all, thank you for the talk. It's very interesting. So I see the last few pages you mentioned the expert's role has been changed to the critical evaluator. That means, for example, these experts are very experienced. So they can use the experience to decide whether the AI generated result is good or not. I'm just wondering for those of students who is in the learning the HCI this major, whether they can adapt into the change like this. I mean, we see some trends, like the big name companies are starting laying off their either engineers or the staffs. So, yeah, I'm not sure if you know anything about this part. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And first of all, my pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me here. So if I understand your question correctly, I think I can give some examples. Like, for example, in my class, I am now, this semester I am now taking actually I'm teaching the HCI and web design here. So one rule I tell the student is, I know it's inevitable. I know even though I say, please don't use ChatGPT to help you to generate layout, you will still use it. So let's switch to the other way. You can still use the AI tools to help you. If you, for example, at the ideation stage. If you're just being stuck there, you have some ideas, you cannot use your visual language to illustrate it. Okay, you can let the the AI tools to help you generate different UI drafts and you can just pick which one is closer to your original idea. But first, it should be in the good alignment with your original thoughts. And second, AI tool is just a tool. It's just a tool to help you to save some time for brainstorming, but you still need to keep the originality there to identify, okay, this pattern of the layout I've seen a lot of times, so it's probably not like a very new thing I would like to bring to the table. Or probably you can see, okay, this fancy layout is super, I would say it's maybe includes some of the smaller text, and it's not for my senior target user, so it's not the right solution I would like to take. So this process, actually, you can change the student's roles from the problem solver to the critical evaluator, because they need to evaluate the outcomes that are generated by the AI, but still stick with their originality and still stick with the the real user needs behind the idea. So that's the reason why in this topic today, I always say we need to focus on the real humans behind your idea, and that's the core of the mindset of design thinking framework. Not sure whether that answers your question fully, but hopefully that can be a useful example. Okay, I see, seems like some student raised your hand, right? Okay,
Yes,
go ahead, please.
My question is about what's being said out there about the emergence of AI. A lot of us may have heard over the internet or in the news, or some experts say that AI will be replacing, let's say, coders, developers, or because AI can code and do the work that some developers were doing, and that companies are more likely to use AI to do a certain type of work over developers. Is that something that us who are studying computer science should worry about? Like, are we wasting our time, or should we cater our training towards a different part, towards AI? And what can you tell us about that? Or should we just be worried, or, because personally, that's a very important thing to me. Like, am I wasting my time learning computer science if most of the work if the job market is not gonna need me?
If I understand your question correctly, because of the volume, yeah. So, if I understand that question correctly, you mean whether the occurring of such Gen AI tools that can reduce the possibilities for computer science students to get job in the job market. Well, I think I would say, to be honest, I think there's a risk. Because some foundational and essential work now can be replaced by the Gen AI tools or other AI tools there. So I think similar to the design area, we need to think about whether the roles can be changed. If our students, for example, in the design or HCI area, if they just remaining their original role like just a maker, then everything, for example, use different colors, use different shapes, or the ability to illustrate a very good image. These are the abilities that can be replaced by the AI tools. But if they change their roles to, as I've mentioned, critical evaluator, they are the decision makers that can decide which one of the solutions from the AI generated outcomes can be the good one to feed the target users, to meet the user needs, to solve the user problems according to different complex, like emotions, context, and stories. So these are the abilities that AI cannot really judge for human for case by case. And I think similar, this is just an example because I am more familiar with HCI and design area. I think for computer science, some similar mindsets should exist there as well. So working as an engineer, but your role probably not just sticking with writing some codes, and because these are the things that AI can do it more accurate and much more faster. So your role can be what kind of the very bottom and essential logic I should apply to this, for example, the application there or the platform I'm developing. And what are the tools that I can develop with the help of AI that can help me to generate the efficiency from the other work I switch. So I think to answer the question, my personal thoughts can be, the answer can be yes and no. So yes, there can be the risk. Some of the essential work will be replaced. This is the truth, and we cannot just ignore it. We cannot just avoid it. But also the answer can be no, because humans are live, humans are smart. Human can always twist the role and think about which of the other directions I can take to utilize the tool. So the differences between us and the other creature in the world is human can use the tools, right? AI-generated AI tools are just tools in another directions, but the human roles should be changed according to what is currently trending there. Hope that answers your question. All right, thank you. And yeah, I remember another student raised a hand. All right, go ahead, please.
So I'm not the best drawer. Like I'm not good at drawing.
Oh,
But like
great.
say for people who aren't good at drawing, and they have the idea of they want to visualize something and draw it, do you feel like that will be very helpful generating these ideas to make it, like AI will help make those generate ideas better? You know, make it, put it onto display, if that makes sense?
Right, could you please repeat the question, or you were just sharing
Oh.
a comment?
Hello. So my question is like, for people who aren't very good at drawing, would you say that AI, to be able to create those images, will help them be able to display it, to generate those images?
Mm-hmm. So I think if I understand that question, I think the answer can be yes. So well, sometimes you can, I may just give some examples about that. So practically nowadays in a lot of the game design companies, in especially the big teams, well actually in small teams as well. So they want to save the labors, like the, for example, the old ways to drawing and also the 3D model making. So they want to save that labor and time, and nowadays they have the local server to train the AI tools. And for example, if you're the role of the designer, so your originality and your responsibility at the beginning is to give a sketch, which you've mentioned you have the art skills, right? And that can be, did you mention that earlier? Or? Oh, I see. Yeah, so as a designer, the first stage of the responsibility can have the original model. So it can be just a sketching, but with some of the features, like maybe like a beautiful girl and with the long hair and what kind of the battle dress it looks like. And then this can be repeatedly trained in the local generative AI tool instead of just writing some simple prompts for the online platform, and the online Gen AI tool just help you to get a lot of the variation on that. So this can be one way, if I understand your question correct. This can be one way how you can apply the AI, but with some ethics, because you still keep the originality and also the internal resources, but training the model again and again. Instead of just spreading your work to the like online resources and making it public, and anyone else can, if they have the same prompts or similar prompts with you, they probably will take the style from your illustration. And if not for commercial use, usually people just use it for personal hobby or personal use. That won't be a lot of the law issue there. But if the commercial companies, they use such ways to just take similar styles from the prompts writing in the Gen AI tools online, then there can be a lot of the legal issue that if they want to use the same or similar look for the art resources or the design resources. Yeah, I'm not pretty sure whether I answered that question, but yeah, AI tools today, they can spread a lot of different ideas and make the open sourced idea to be public, and a lot of people can repeatedly use them even though they didn't really realize that. So if we are considering about the law issue and also the ethics, using local using local AI model would be one way to protect the originality of the idea. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. Any other thoughts or feedback or questions you would like to share? Oh, sorry, I didn't see because the other lady was raising a hand. All right.
How do designers ensure AI systems stay ethical and free from bias?
Could you please repeat that?
How do designers ensure AI systems stay ethical and free from bias?
You mean like how the AI tools can, how the designers can, for example, like avoid the ethical issues brought by the AI or the bias brought by the AI, if that's the question you were asking? Right, so I think for this question, first, the designers, they need to have the awareness about what responsibilities they need to take. So just noticing any bias, noticing any stereotype, this should be the responsibilities they need to be aware of at the first stage. And then second, the designers need to be very knowledgeable. They need to not just, okay, so if I am using ChatGPT to help me generate a lot of the layouts or the web design, the draft, it doesn't really mean I am a designer for it. If I want to make my role still as a designer, I need to read and I need to research a lot of different resources. So I need to have the open-minded and also the very fulfilled world view to understand the world and understand the users, understand the human that I am designing for. So having yourself get sufficient knowledge to tell what are the bias, what are the stereotypes that AI accidentally or not accidentally generated. This will be the responsibility from the designer themselves. So generally 2 ways. I think also the 2 keys, I would say. So the first key, have that awareness. If you don't have that awareness, you probably just see, for example, like the example I was showing, the woman like this. You probably think, okay, this is a woman, this is what we commonly see in the society. But actually we can have different all different look, all different styles, all different shapes, all different careers. If you know that in the world that you're living, you have the awareness, and it's very possible that you can tell, okay, I got something that with bias from other data sets. Hope that answers the question. All right, and I do see another, oh yeah, go ahead please.
Okay, thank you for your talk.
My pleasure.
My question is, today we know that we learn a lot of concepts at school in terms of design, algorithm, solid concept, the separation of concern, and I realize that if you use AI to generate code right now, they come first with brute force, and we know that if you want to work at Accenture or Chisholm, for example, they have 1 million of people, and if you go with a brute force algorithm, for example, you will have a lot of problems with your customer. So I just want to, like you said, that you have to work with AI. If you know somebody, they don't know anything about coding, like they don't think that, oh, here is a brute force, we can't use big O N square here, or big N log square here, or N log N. So we need to use big O N or big O log N. So I don't know. Do you think that you have to jump on AI like that, or we have to continue learn like traditional learning before we can adapt to AI?
I think that's a very challenging and very good and challenging question there. I think this will be my personal view for it, but I think the some part of the skills and knowledge that should be prepared before the design. Well, we are talking about the case of designers, so I think that should be part of the knowledge and skills that train the designer become the formal designer, that you can make some decisions there. If that answers your question, or if you think it's still a little bit confused, then please repeat your question clearly. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, because the trick is today I think is the risk is at a high level to cut a lot of developers. I know that you're talking about designing, but me, I'm a software developer, so I'm talking about my field.
Oh, I see.
So if it's happening like that, the AI is built by software engineers. So if they cut people like that without thinking about how they're gonna design the algorithm at the high level for efficiency, and scalability and flexibility.
Mhm.
So I think we will have a huge problem in the future.
Right. So I think you've mentioned that some software engineers, they probably the one to design the algorithm, right, for the
Yeah.
AI tools there. So your question is about like how.
Like
Mhm.
my question is, so everybody can jump in AI, like you said that AI can do many things today. So everybody can jump
Yes.
using AI to like vibe coding today.
Right.
People use Cursor, IDE to work, and I don't know. Everything is confused today. So we don't know if this guy is a sharp engineer or not today because of AI. And after maybe they have some problem in their website or their company, and at that time they realize that okay, this guy doesn't have enough experience. So do we need to continue learning like traditional learning before we jump to AI, or we can go directly with AI? Like we have to use AI anytime, anywhere.
I see. So I think because I am a teaching professor right now, so I think my personal teaching style, and also this is what I encourage students to do, is even though today we have so many tools, like everyone can be the developer, everyone can be the designer. We have so many tools that we still need to understand the basic and essential logic behind it before you just jump into that role, right? So even though AI can help you to save a lot of time and energy and labor to write codes in your case, and also in our design case, just save your time to illustrate the layout or just prototypes there. You still need to understand you need some basic knowledge to help you to judge what is the best solution. I won't say the best, but what is the reasonable solution and logical solution for the target people that you're serving for. And this is why our programs today, like software engineers, computer science, and also like industrial or interaction design, why those academic programs are still meaningful to train people before they use those tools to jump into the positions there. This is my personal view as a teaching professor. I understand that sometimes in the industry, it can be a little bit complicated because they will say, okay, then it's easier for everyone to be the designers. It's easier for everyone to be the developer, then why should I hire you? That can be one of the challenges that in line with the occurring of the AI tools there. But again, human roles can always switch. Previously, designers' roles, they are makers, they are just the problem solvers, but nowadays they are more likely to be the decision makers and also critical evaluators. But still, what kind of the evaluation you can take the judgment still based on what you have trained and learned. You're not just a random person, jump into that designer position and use AI to help you to do everything. You need to have the ability and also the skills to tell, okay, which solutions and the outcomes that it helped generated can be the good one for my human users. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good, thanks. All right, anyone else would like to share your thoughts or, go ahead, please.
Yeah, my question is, how can design thinking help interaction interaction?
How can design thinking
Handle the ethical interaction?
help AI interaction? Or?
Yeah, AI interaction of human interaction.
So I want to clarify when you say AI direction, AI interaction, you mean how the human user to use AI? Is that what you mean? That's a good question. So currently we have the way about writing prompts, right? This can be a very a commonly way because everyone know how to write, and even though you don't know how to write, you can still use dictionary to do it. This will be a very common way. I would say that's a very good interaction design between the AI system and human. But still, this is for everyone. So it can have a very I would say very simple bar for everyone. You don't have to learn a lot of knowledge there. But if you want to make your work more professional, you still need to have some basic knowledge and basic skills. And here comes the other set of the tools that the AI tools that can be designed for the professional people. So previously, I think when I was answering the other question from another student, I was using the example about some of the AI tools were local tools. They are now the online open sources tools. They can be just built on the internal server from a company or from other devices there. So that can be one of the so for example, let's say Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion actually has different versions. The open source version is free and it's simple to use. It's pretty just a click and drag and just typing your prompts, and that's for everyone. But when we turn that into the professional version used by the companies, they use like locally or internally, they actually can contain, this version can contain a lot of different functions, like how you can adjust the people's facial facial expression with different angles, how you can still keep the correct proportion. If you don't have the art skills or design skills before, you probably cannot tell, okay, some of the body proportion is not correct. But the professional users, the interaction between them and the AI tool can help them to just realize that, okay, this is the angle that human body can never do. This is the kind of like the, I would like to use the finger example, but this is actually everyone can tell. So they probably can tell that, okay, this hand posture, this is not possible in the real case, or things like that. So back to your question, the interaction I think can be a professional way and also in non-professional way. For everyone, for normal people who are just interested in art creation and design, the interaction can be very, very simple, just typing some prompts. But if we are considering the expert users who are using AI tools as the productive tool, then we need to think about what are the interaction that can help them to do some deep analysis of their current design solutions. So hope that answers the question. Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, as a designer yourself, someone with a background in human and computer interactions, my question is about prompts.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any or a number of specialized techniques out there that someone can use or that would make someone a better prompt writer than another? And if there are those techniques being taught in school now or in college?
Actually, that's a very interesting question, and my answer is yes. So currently, before I joined IIT, I was working at Milwaukee School of Engineering in the user experience program. And actually, before I left, we were developing some new courses that focusing on the prompt engineering, which means, in simple words, it's just telling people how you can write better prompts. And it's not just about phrasing your words more correctly to describe your needs. It's more likely to understand the logic that's based on different algorithm behind the tools that you're going to use. And based on that features, actually, you can write more accurate, more reflective prompts that can help you to generate the things you want. So the quick answer would be yes. And I think that this is actually a trend that now occurring in a lot of different universities, to making the prompts writing as one part of the key element in just the application of the AI tools there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyone else would like to share something? Any comments, feedback, questions? All right, if no, then thank you for having me here. I think we had a lot of good conversations with students and also our professors here. Thank you again to have me here. And hopefully in some events or opportunities, I can see some familiar faces in IIT as well. All right, thank you.